Carter, when I grow up, I'm going to rule all of Hogwarts. Don't you know who my father is? Now there's a hero I can get behind. I spent the first third of this film just being really confused. I didn't know why I was supposed to like Simba. I didn't know why I was supposed to care about Simba. I only had one consistent thought through the entire first act of this film. Someone needs to eat this thing. So as I said, we're introduced to Simba by way of him rudely waking both his parents up out of a nice rest, and even headbutting his own father in the face. Instead of beating his ass for this and going back to sleep like they rightly should have, his father obliges him and takes him on a tour of the kingdom. He begins instructing his son on some very important moral lessons, but because Simba's an asshole, he's not really paying that much attention. In fact, the only thing that really gets his attention is when he learns that there will be more to being king than just getting his way all the time. Not if Simba has anything to say about it. Another thing that gets his attention is when Mufasa tells him he must never go to a certain place in the kingdom. Simba talks to his uncle about this, who lets it slip that this place is an elephant graveyard, and also tells Simba not to go there. Naturally, because he's an asshole, he defies both of his elders and decides to go anyway. But because he's an asshole, he couldn't possibly do something obstinate and dangerous alone. Of course not. He has to drag a little friend along with him. So he goes to find Nala, and also finds his mom there, who decides to give him a bath. Mom, you're messing up my mane. I'll mess your face up, you little shit. Anyway, when she asks where they're both going, Simba lies to his own mother's face and tells her that they're going to the water hole. You know, because he's an asshole. Sarabi says it's fine, as long as Zazu goes with them to chaperone. And Simba appears to be resentful of this. I don't really know why. After all, this is a golden opportunity for him to treat someone else in his life like shit. So they get pretty close to the waterhole, and, oh god, I just love this. They actually dedicate an entire song to talking about how much of an asshole this kid is. You guys suck and I am great, me, 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 me. You guys suck and I am great, it's all about me. Heartwarming. So Simba disrespects and humiliates Zazu, and leaves him for dead in the underside of a rhino, which brings the tally of elders he's disrespected and disobeyed to 4. This is our hero, ladies and gentlemen. This is our hero. So they get to the elephant graveyard, Zazu catches up with them, and they learn that this is actually hyena territory. And oh my god, he's even a little asshole in foreign lands. I'm the future king. You can't do anything to me. Oh, come on guys, eat him. Eat him. Eat him and spit his bones out and make him into a toilet and shit on his dead carcass everywhere. Oh, damn it, he got away. Turns out Mufasa actually cares about this little shit for some reason and decided to save his life. So now he's going to teach his son a lesson. So now the first act of the film is very nearly coming to a close. What's happened in the film so far? Well, Simba has bathed in his own ego, treated everyone in his life like a sack of shit, including his own 2 parents, almost caused an international incident, and very nearly got 2 innocent people killed. If there are any Lion King fans watching this review, please, help me out here. Why are we supposed to like this little shit? A lot of people who have heard this complaint from me have given the same defense. Simba is just a little kid. Little kids are rambunctious and rebellious. Well, I was a little kid once, and I was rebellious and rambunctious. But I was never this much of an obstinate, willful, selfish, dishonest, disobedient little asshole. And I didn't know any other little kid that was either. Simba's behavior and personality go way beyond simple rambunctiousness of youth. Simba's the kind of kid you see drill sergeants yelling at on the Maury Povich show.
You're playing off the field.
Tired of buffering? Did you know Sprite uses artificial preservatives? So get real. Try Sierra Mist Natural. Naturally sweetened with real sugar and nothing artificial. Deliciously refreshing Sierra Mist Natural. The natural one.
Hi and welcome to part 2. So when we last met our hero Simba, he had caused every problem in what would otherwise have been a peaceful kingdom, and his father was about to chastise him for it. Now, I'm not a big fan of the gratuitous compliment, but it seems I must give one here. I didn't hate this scene. It is in fact the only scene in the film that made me neither ill nor annoyed. That's a gratuitous compliment because it did make me very confused. I didn't understand these two characters at all after this scene. I mean, if Simba loves and respects his father this much, why doesn't he ever listen to him? And if Mufasa is this good a parent and teacher, then how did Simba turn out to be such a little asshole in the first place? So after these two have a little bonding time, we then cut to a scene where the hyenas are upset about not killing the kid. This scene then rolls into the most pointless villain song I've ever heard in my life. The only thing we learn in this song is that Scar is using the hyenas to try to take over the Pride Lands. We know. That's what he just tried to do. So after this gratuitous scene, we then see Scar taking Simba to a rock in the middle of nowhere. Now to keep this brief, I'll just sum this up for you. Hyenas cause stampede, Simba gets caught up, father saves his life, Scar kills father, Simba very sad. This is in fact supposed to be one of the saddest moments in cinematic history, but I just didn't see it that way. I mean, it's a little kid. January 10th, 2011. January 10th, 2011. We just lost a parent. That has a default setting of being generally sad. But since we don't like Simba, and we didn't know Mufasa very well, it's just really hard to care about this in any way except just generally. What follows this is the most underexplained moment in the entire film. And that's a big deal, because it's also one of the most crucial points in the film. What in all fucking hell makes Simba think that this is his fault? It's not like he caused the stampede, and the only thing Scar says to him is, the king is dead, and if it weren't for you, he'd still be alive. This implies that this is supposed to be Simba's fault because he was there and needed rescue. But the only reason he was there is because Scar put him there. Simba even offered to go with Scar to get his dad. Scar said no, just stay on this rock and practice your little roar. Even a grieving 8-year-old idiot should be able to figure out that, even by the logic of what was just said to him, this is Scar's fault. There is just no way to turn this around and make it out to be Simba's fault. And Simba has no reason to think it is his fault. The motivations Simba has for thinking that he was responsible for his dad's death aren't even bad. They barely even exist. If you're going to give us a character later on who spends his adult years blaming himself for his father's death, you've got to give us a better motivation than, I believe it's so, because I was there. This scene is the textbook definition of contrived. So anyway, Scar manages to dupe Simba, and then he exiles him from the kingdom. This is the only action taken in the film that can be interpreted in any way as good. Based on what we learned about Simba and how he planned to run this place, Scar probably just did the people of Pride Rock the biggest favor of their lives. So Scar goes back and tells the people that both Mufasa and Simba have been killed in the stampede, and since everyone in this film is either evil or a complete idiot, they all just take his word for it. Meanwhile, we find Simba roasting in the sun, and then we are introduced to Timon and Pumbaa. And here, I have to give credit where credit is due. Because as far as Disney villains go, these are two of the most evil, nasty, despicable, despisable Disney villains I've ever seen on screen. I mean, they make the Wicked Queen look like Mother Freaking Potato. Wait a minute! These are supposed to be good guys too? What is it that makes these writers think that horrible people make for good protagonists? First of all, they mince no word about the fact that the only reason they're helping this poor kid out is so that they can use him. And this never changes through the course of the film. When Simba is an adult lion and saves them from another adult lion, Timon greedily whispers in Pumbaa's ear, "See, I told you he'd come in handy." Boy, what valiant, noble heroes we have in this film. Second of all, Timon and Pumbaa are just horrible people. They're lazy and proud of it, stupid and proud of it, selfish and proud of it, and what's more, they're assholes. We have a scene where Simba is telling them what he thinks of the origin of the stars, and they both just laugh at him like